Szonja, thanks for sitting down with me. A really great pleasure to have you here. You are now with Euroseeds for 14 years, I believe. So that means you must like it. What's so exciting about the seed sector?
Well, thanks for inviting for the interview, Marcel. And well, to answer your question, it is mostly diversity that makes it, I think, exciting and interesting to work in this industry, which also you know very well, and you have spent quite a lot of time in this industry. So I guess you all have also seen this diversity, which is really manifold with the many types of crops that are involved. And my previous colleague, who was the technical director when I started, I remember that the first thing I heard from him, every time I asked the question, the answer always started with, yeah, because it's different. So that is a confirmation of the diversity that is in the sector. And it's also the different types of companies, the different people, the many nationalities that you meet all the time. And they are all different in their approaches. But of course, also in the day-to-day work, the different topics that you meet, and which actually, they don't change all the time, but there are always new ones coming. And that is really something that I think has kept me for so long, because when I started, I was recruited to work on IP matters, and mostly on patent-related matters, because at that time there was a big discussion starting on patents in plants in the European sector, the European region. And once that was done, new topics came all the time. So it's really not repetitive, but always really evolving. And I think, for all of us, we like learning new things. So as long as I could do it, to always face new challenges and learn new things, I didn't see any reason to go. And it doesn't mean that now everything has stopped and there is no diversity anymore. So,
Never a dull day.
No.
In the seed sector. Good. In these past 14 years, and you've had some very tough dossiers, intellectual property patents, several things in PVP, ABS. What would you say are the biggest achievements in these past 14, 15 years?
In Euroseeds.
In Euroseeds, exactly, yeah.
Well, if I think about the exact reason why I was recruited in 2009 was this whole patent discussion which started. So, my first task was to make sure that we have a position which is acceptable for everybody, meaning nobody is going to leave Euroseeds. So if you are new coming into an industry, well, I was very young and coming into an industry which was completely new, it was a little bit scary, I have to say, but I think it was a very nice achievement, because after 2 years of discussions, we had a position which was not unanimously supported, but nobody left the industry, and everybody could live with the position for a good 10 years, because we still have the same position. Now the patent discussion is restarting. So in a way, it's funny, because I'm leaving now when it's restarting, and the new person who comes will have a little bit the same challenge to solve, like I had 14 years ago. So I think that was a big achievement. But then to implement that position, we had, I think, a lot of success, because the position that we adopted meant that we needed to work on actually changes in the law, which is not an easy thing, and it doesn't happen from one day to the other. But actually, there were quite some changes that we could achieve, which were and are very important for the industry in Europe. When we talk about ABS, that's of course a global challenge. Well, IP is also has global aspects, but the patent discussion is a bit more regional. ABS has more global aspects, of course, but what was a really nice achievement for us in Europe was the European implementation of the Nagoya Protocol, because the European Commission adopted a regulation to implement the compliance pillar of the Nagoya Protocol in Europe, and we wanted commercial varieties to be excluded from the compliance measures. And that took quite a number of years, but and a lot of hours spent with the Commission to explain why we need this exclusion. But it was very fulfilling when, after I think 4 or 5 years of discussions, in the end we got the exclusion, and that was quite a big achievement for the European sector.
And yesterday we saw the launch of ACLP.
Yes.
Also a big achievement, I would say.
Yes.
Absolutely. And hopefully that will, help you or help Euroseeds a bit in the whole patent debate.
The ACLP. Yes, I think so. It will help, just like the international licensing platform for vegetables. It's more or less the same thing, but in agricultural crops now. Yeah, I think it will help because it shows that there is willingness from the companies to actually offer industry solutions, which I don't know if you had the possibility to listen to the event yesterday. Galich expressed that he really believes in industry solutions, and on that I can only agree with him, because I think that's the best way to show and to advance in what we want to achieve, really. But of course the ACLP needs to now really start and grow and become what it is meant to be.
Yeah, wonderful. So that's looking back a little bit. Let's look a little bit ahead to the future. You're going very soon to ISF. Will you be doing the same thing? And can you perhaps expand a little bit on the challenges that you have ahead of you?
Yes, I will be doing a little bit the same things, yes, because it will be also intellectual property, legal affairs, and ABS. Of course, on the international level, I think the IP discussion is really more focused on UPOV and PVP. Doesn't mean that we are not going to have discussions on patents, maybe yes, but of course it's a bit more regional and even national when we come to patents. But maybe that will be discussed because the NGT discussion is also ongoing at the international level. So why not? We will see. But of course, in UPOV there are also challenges. We had a lot of interesting discussions in the past few years in UPOV, which I think was nice to see, because for many years it was quite, nothing was happening, no substantial discussions, nothing was really moving. And then suddenly a lot of important topics were picked up by the UPOV members, and the willingness is there to work and improve these topics and the implementation of these particular questions and aspects of PVP. So that is an exciting part of the work, but there are of course challenges, because we need to see how the UPOV system can evolve and respond to new challenges, new developments, new technologies. And I think that will be a very exciting part of the job and the new challenge to look into. Well, the ABS challenge
remains.
That remains, yes. Whether it can be solved on the short or the long term, that is a very good question. But yeah, my hope is still there that we are going to find a solution at some point in time. So I'm still optimistic. Of course, the progress is slow, very slow even. And of course, an additional challenge is that we need to work with different international fora, which a little bit work on the same topic, and sometimes they have diverging directions that they start into. So it will be quite a big challenge also for the sector to position itself, whether to go with the international treaty or with the CBD and the Nagoya Protocol route. And if then both remain, how to make sure that we have a harmonized implementation between the two, and no double payments, no double obligations. It's going to be also a very interesting part of the subjects to work on.
Sounds like a very diverse plate full of
challenges.
Good luck at ISF, Szonja. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcel.